1 week from Weatherfest. It's the first ever. And
Yeah.
Kristen, tell us what they can expect.
Yeah, so it's going to run next Saturday from 10 a.m. until 6 o'clock at the Museum of Science and History. That's in downtown Corpus Christi. It's going to be super, super fun. It's the first one ever, so we're all really excited for it. You're going to have experiments there, color the weather. All 4 of your KIII meteorologists are going to be there answering your questions in a panel moderated by our very own John Thomas Kobos a couple different times. And we also have a special preview of our hurricane special airing later that night. So all kinds of good stuff going on there with Weatherfest. We're all getting super excited about it.
I'm getting excited for it. And like you mentioned, the hurricane special kicking off hurricane season June 1st.
Yes, hard at work on it, putting the polishing touches on it. But for now, we're going to be focusing on the heat as opposed to anything in the tropics. The Hurricane Center is already issuing advisories and the areas of interest, that kind of stuff. But there's only been 1 or 2, and they've been very, very low chances, down to 0 at this point. So nothing to talk about there. What there is to talk about, though, is the heat. Temperatures getting into the upper 90s this afternoon, but feels like temperatures when you add the humidity on top of that, 115 here in Corpus Christi. So we do have excessive heat warnings as well as heat advisories in effect for not only today, but also into tomorrow morning for the rest of your Memorial Day weekend. So very, very hot here. You can see each and every day those feels like temperatures up above not only 110, but 115. So very, very hot. Here's a check of what those heat warnings are looking like for today. The excessive heat warning is this purplish pink shade, and then the heat advisory is for us here in the coastal part of Corpus Christi, but a little bit further inland towards Cal and Robstown. They're included in the excessive heat warning. No heat advisories for the islands, but it is still going to be very, very warm. So not a bad day or bad weekend to head out to the beach. There could be some periods of coastal flooding, minor, right around the morning whenever the high tide is coming in, but otherwise not a bad weekend at the beach. A moderate rip current risk both days, so make sure you're staying safe and swimming with a buddy, as well as using a lot of sunscreen. That UV index is going to be about as high as it can go, not only today, but tomorrow and through the rest of this coming week with high pressure, keeping our skies really clear, as well as making our temperatures very, very hot. So I've got our high temperature and max heat index for the day here on this graphic. You can see high pressure starting over Mexico, moving northward and building over the coastal bend and a good chunk of South Texas. That's what's keeping us very hot and making our skies pretty sunny. Now heading into about Tuesday, it's still going to be pretty much anchored over us, but it's going to start moving off and kind of weakening just a bit into the rest of the coming week. So even though we're still going to be quite hot in the 90s, it's not going to be quite as bad as the rest of this Memorial Day weekend. So high temperatures in the 90s just about every day, challenging a couple of record high temperatures. And while 97 isn't going to be challenging May 27th's high temperature record, it is going to be challenging the Memorial Day high temperature record of 97 set back in 2009. So very hot weather here. Make sure you're staying hydrated, applying sunscreen, wearing cool clothing, and trying to limit your strenuous activity outside during the hottest part of the day. So for Memorial Day weekend, you should be good to go. If you are heading outside to be grilling, just make sure you keep an eye on any sparks and embers. So here's what's at stake for today in the name of grilling. Probably a medium, well, hopefully not well done. We're not at the 100-degree mark yet, but 95 for that high temperature here today in Corpus Christi, though much hotter heading into the brush country. Now, once you add the humidity on top of all of those temperatures, here's what it's going to be feeling like. This is why we have those excessive heat warnings and heat advisories, not only running from right now through this evening, but overnight into tomorrow morning. So very, very hot. Make sure you're practicing that heat safety and staying hydrated. Alexis?